Stop learning new skills for 2026. Seriously, stop. Because you don't have a skill problem, you have a sabotage problem. And until you fix that, every course you buy is just expensive permission to stay stuck. Look, I've been coaching 7 and 8-figure entrepreneurs for years now. People who have already made it. And you know what I keep seeing is that they have the skills. They buy all the courses. They already know what to do, but they still can't do it. There's something else going on and something nobody's really talking about. And once you see it, everything about why you're stuck makes perfect sense. Because if you don't get this, 2026 is going to look exactly like 2025, just with different tools that you don't use and a bigger pile of unfinished courses. Everyone's making lists, right? Learning AI, master delegation, automate everything, scale faster. And look, those aren't wrong, but here's what I've noticed. The skills that actually separate people aren't the technical ones. They're things like being able to handle success without immediately blowing up, or having free time and not feeling like you're dying inside. And here's what that looks like in real life. So you finally get a Saturday off, no meetings, no calls, nothing scheduled. And within about 2 hours, you're anxious. So you check your Slack, then your emails, and then you're back at your laptop just checking something real quick. And then 3 hours later, you worked half the day on your day off. Or this one, your spouse asks what's wrong. And you say, nothing. But inside you're thinking about the deal that might fall through or the client that might leave and the things that could go wrong. Even though right now in the moment, everything's actually fine. I had a client last year, made several millions of dollars, couldn't take a day off without getting their chest getting all tight and tense. And it wasn't a time management problem. It was something way deeper. You see, most people think that they need more discipline, more focus, better systems, but that's not it. Your body has memory and it's running in the background 24/7. So maybe when you were younger, every time that you let go of control, something went wrong. Or every time things were going well, the bottom fell out. So your entire system learned something. Your body did. And it learned that peace represents danger, or that space means something bad is coming, that success means you're about to lose it all. And that's still running right now in everything you do, which is why trying to learn these skills the normal way doesn't actually work. Okay, so here's why all those courses you bought didn't stick. Traditional skill development assumes you're starting from zero, but you're not. You're already programmed. And after looking at last year's average of people finishing courses, you know how many finished their courses that they actually bought? Less than 8%. That sucks. I mean, think about it. You've probably bought a course on delegation, right? Maybe even a few of them. And day 1, you're excited, you're pumped. Day 3, you're already in the weeds doing everything yourself. At week 2, you're like, hey, maybe this is just easier if I do it myself. And you think that that's a discipline problem. You think you just have to have better time management or accountability. But here's what's really happening. When you try to delegate or rest or let things be easy, your body creates anxiety to make you stop. Because somewhere deep down, your entire system thinks that keeping control keeps you safe. And the average person tries almost 5 new productivity systems a year. Know how many actually stick for those? Less than 1. And I would say it's probably more than that now. You know how many productivity courses come out and AI things that are just these shiny objects that we go chase and then we don't implement it fully. We'll dabble, but when we don't get what we want, we blame the system, we blame the process, we blame the technology. And then we go back to our default program that says, I'm not enough. I can't have things work. It's got to be hard. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you lack willpower. It's because you're trying to build new habits on top of old patterns that are fighting you every single step of the way. It's like trying to drive forward with the parking brake on. You can hit the gas all you want, but you're not going to get very far. And the worst part is that you start thinking something's wrong with you. You see other people making it look easy, and you're over here grinding twice as hard just to stay in place, but there's nothing innately wrong. You just have patterns running that nobody taught you how to see, let alone how to actually fix them. Which brings me to the 5 skills nobody's putting on their list. All right, so here are the actual 5 skills that'll separate you from everyone else in 2026. And none of these are on anybody else's lists. So, number 1, tolerating success without sabotage. How many times have you hit a milestone and then immediately found a way to create chaos? New client signs, you pick a fight with your business partner. Or big month in revenue, and then you make a really stupid hiring decision. That's not bad luck, that's a pattern. Number 2, feeling safe when things are calm. The ability to have open space in your calendar and not have a full-out panic attack. Most successful people I know are actually terrified of unscheduled time. They'll create problems just to feel productive. And in my past, there were times where if I wasn't productive, I would self-sabotage, turn to video games or porn. So I had productivity be my protection around self-destruction, which in and of itself was self-destructive because then I got caught up in a cycle that I could never take a break and I didn't deserve a break. So it can go either way. Number 3, receiving without deflecting. This means money, compliments, opportunities, help. Receiving them. Watch what happens next time someone compliments you. You may be the person who deflects within 3 seconds, and you might not even say it, but your body language, or you might have a thought that's like, oh, this old thing, or man, I just got lucky, or hey, it's not a big deal, or you just kind of shrug it off. You can't even let good things land. Number 4, letting other people actually help you. Real delegation. Not the kind where you're hovering over their shoulder, redoing everything that they touch, but trusting that things can work without you and without controlling every single detail. Like full out trust. And number 5, resting like a normal human. Not collapse exhaustion, but actual rest. Where you're not planning your next move, where you can be present with your family without your brain running through tomorrow's to-do lists, where you can lay down at night and instead of thinking about all the business stuff, you can shut it off when it needs to shut off and turn it on when it needs to turn on. These aren't personality traits. They're not nice to have. This is the difference between building something that lasts and burning yourself out over and over and over again. So now here's what makes this completely different from everything else you've already tried. Let me show you something that'll make this really clear. So forget everything you know about self-improvement for a second. Poof, forget it for a second, right? Self-improvement gone. This works completely differently. Normal skill development goes like this. You learn it, you practice it, you get better at it over time. So it's all about repetition and passion and consistency, right? Repetition. What I do is different. So we don't build the skill, we delete what's blocking it. Or even more importantly, we align your entire body to allow that new skill to become second nature. And here's what nobody really wants to hear is that your productivity obsession, that's just anxiety in a business suit. That's it. You're not driven, you're scared. And every hustle harder post that you're sharing, that's not motivation. That's the addiction to the trauma trying to keep you safe. And you're just trying to validate it through posting so that you can not feel so bad about it anymore. So because here's the thing, you already know how to rest. You already know how to delegate. You already know how to receive. You know all these things. You just have patterns running that make it impossible to implement them. And you're addicted to those patterns. You're addicted to the struggle. You're allergic to the success. You don't need driving lessons. You need someone to release the freaking parking brake. Not manage them, but completely change. Here's what actually happens. This is the part that sounds too good to be true until you experience it or see it happen even. So let me tell you what exactly happens when this pattern goes away. When the pattern deletes or aligns, the skill doesn't just gradually improve. It just happens. Now, I know this seems awkward or weird or like a lie, but think about it. You don't just slowly get better at resting. When you delete that pattern and are aligned, one day rest, it just feels normal. It's like breathing. You don't think about it. It's just natural. You don't inch towards being okay with delegation. The compulsion to control, it just isn't there anymore. And that's what I call the erasure effect. It's where the problem ceases to exist entirely, and it's almost as if it didn't exist. You still remember it, but it doesn't feel like part of who you are. And that's the difference between 2025, where you're constantly managing yourself, and 2026, where you're actually free. You don't need new strategy. You need to let go of the addiction tied to the trauma. You're addicted to struggle. You're allergic to success. Successful people aren't more disciplined, they're just more aligned. You're not learning to be someone different. You're just eliminating the pattern that's keeping you the same. And when you do that, it merges how your body reacts to how you want to be. Right now, you want to be up here, you want to be here, but your body says, actually, I'm more comfortable here. So when you're aligned, it merges the two and allows it to become a choice. And it's awesome when you can allow yourself to step into that role. So just imagine for a second, what becomes possible when you're not fighting yourself anymore? I mean, think about it. When these skills are just accessible because nothing's pushing them away. When delegation feels natural. What if you could just rest and it feels good? That you don't have to be compelled to go work, but it's because you love it. And you can turn it on and turn it off. Don't be a slave to your emotions. And when you can actually build something without destroying it from the inside. So before I wrap this up, you need to understand why this matters specifically for this year, 2026. All right, so here's what we are. You thought you needed to learn a bunch of new skills for 2026. And yeah, you probably do. It's part of the equation, but that's not why you're stuck. You're stuck because you've got patterns running that won't let you use the skills that you already have. Patterns from when you were a kid and that are still calling the shots today. So the skills that actually matter in 2026, they're not technical. They're not on some course that you need to buy. They're psychological. They're physical. They're cellular. And you don't need to build them. You don't need to go learn how to AI them. You need to stop pushing them away and embrace the skills that are already in you so that you can maximize everything you do and everything you learn. So if this resonates in any way, do me a favor if you could, and don't just let this be another video that you watch and forget. Send this to somebody. Just hit the share button, like it, comment, engage, do something, some form of action so that you can remember this and allow yourself to take on a new way of thinking, a new way of being. Because I guarantee you know someone who's stuck in exactly this pattern, and it might just be you, but it might be somebody else too. Choose all in. Choose to become unstoppable. I'm Tyler. I believe you are just one shift away from being completely unstoppable in every area of your life. We'll see you next time.